beautiful place. There is also King Bhumibol Square.
Exactly.
Well,
we're pretty excited to have someone born in the United States not just be king, but be a beloved king, very long time on the throne. You know, one who's contributed so much to his country.
That's right.
So I think for us, it's quite an honor that he was born in Boston.
Yeah, and he's a great king. He has done so much for the country.
And you know, he met with President Obama in November, and it was just a very warm, friendly meeting. I had the privilege of joining, and their conversation was like you and I are talking, just like old friends talk. It was very gracious of His Majesty.
That's right.
It was wonderful.
And actually, the relationship, you know, between our royal family and your country have lasted a long time.
Very long time.
Since King Rama IV.
That's right.
Now we have King Rama the Ninth.
Exactly. Well,
and you have what is the number of your president now?
This is
Lincoln was the number 16.
That's right. And
Pierce
this is
14, and what about?
Hang on. 44.
44. So really long relationship.
Pretty amazing relationship. Going through all the, as you say, good times and bad times. But it goes much more than just at the top levels of our country. As you know, there are Thai students in America. There are American students out here. Tourists travel back and forth. A lot of people-to-people relations as well.
And also, we have a lot of Thai people originally from Thailand living in the United States.
We have been honored to welcome so many Thai who have moved. There, in fact, I think in Los Angeles alone, there is a center of town called Thai Town.
Yes.
It's very...
I was there in Los Angeles. I think it started in 2002 when it was first given the title Thai Town, Sunset Boulevard.
That's right. Well, and because there are so many Thai restaurants and so many Thai people living there. So actually, these days in the United States, there's a Thai restaurant on every corner. You can't go anywhere without finding a Thai restaurant.
In New York also.
In New York, in Washington, anywhere.
And also in New Orleans.
That's right. Anywhere you go.
I noticed that you film stars, you know, according to our Thai restaurateur, you know, who told us that like Thai food. A lot
Everybody
of them film
loves
stars.
Thai food. Everyone loves Thai food. It's fantastic.
So on the opposite side, a lot of Americans also living here.
We have a great many Americans who live here or visit here. You know, as I said, it's one of the world's most popular tourist destinations. We get a great many Americans who come out here. We've got a lot of students who come here, researchers. We have some Americans who came out here as Peace Corps volunteers, a program that started 50 years ago. They stayed, married Thai men or women, and now live in Thailand full time. I think once you live in Thailand, it's pretty hard to leave.
Actually, the people who came to do Peace Corps, you know, since President Kennedy.
That's right.
Who started it. And these people, they came as a young man, very idealistic. And now, since Kennedy, so now most of them are 50, 60. You know, a lot of Peace Corps who have been to Thailand, they became senators, congressmen.
Well,
in the U.S.
That's right. We've also one of our former ambassadors here was a Peace Corps volunteer. So, and our Peace Corps volunteer program is still very strong today. We have a great many Peace Corps volunteers in Thailand.
They still come to work in Thailand and other countries.
They work in Thailand and neighboring countries, but we have about 100 Peace Corps volunteers in Thailand now.
It's a very good program.
And now they do a lot of work teaching English, working on environmental projects. So it's a great partnership. They're very pleased to be here.
That's right. And perhaps we can, Ambassador, we can start talking about a little bit about, you know, the trade relations, investment relations, you know, between our two countries.
Terrific.
As Ambassador, you also promote, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, trade, investment, tourism. How do you find the situation
Well,
now, regarding trade relation between our two countries.
as I'll quote my president, when he was here, he said, "We have a fantastic trade relationship with Thailand. We should make it even better." So we are, I think, one of Thailand's top trading partners. We're in the top 2 or 3. We have about $35, $37 billion of trade a year, which is pretty tremendous.
Yeah.
So we have a tremendous number of American businesses who make Thailand their home. Our American Chamber of Commerce here is one of the largest in the world. In fact, our exports to Thailand this year already are up 25%.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm delighted. Thank you, Thailand, for buying America. So, no, it's great. And what we're trying to do is find even more opportunities. American businesses who would like to come to Thailand, we're delighted to pair them up with a Thai partner, look for someone for them to do. Similarly, Thai businesses looking to invest in the United States, we're very happy to link them up. Or we work with our colleagues in the Thai embassy in Washington to help make that happen. We definitely want to promote tourism to the United States, and of course we want to welcome any Americans who want to come to Thailand. So.
The U.S. is very important to Thailand also economically.
I hope so.
Because we export a lot to you.
You do.
As you said, Ambassador, the U.S. is normally number 1, number 2, number 3,
Top
largest
trade partners.
market, of Thailand.
Top market for both of us, important relationship. A number of American businesses are out here, Ford Motor Company, Chevrolet, GM, hard drive makers, Western Digital, Seagate, but also small companies. There are companies out here who make Ronald Reagan's favorite candy, the Jelly Belly, small candy company, American here in Thailand.
Now here in Thailand.
There's a small American company that makes fishing flies. They're headquartered here in Thailand.
Okay.
So it's a real variety.
When there was a flood, and Thailand, Seagate or people who produce computer chip,
Right.
got affected
Right.
here. And it affect the United States computer industry also.
That was Western Digital that was
Yeah.
flooded out. And that really, as you say, it affected hard drives throughout the
Hard
world.
drive.
I'm very happy to say they've all recovered,
That's right. Yeah.
as have so many people in Thailand. So, the floods affected everyone. Big business, small business, families, didn't matter about nationality. But luckily, they seem to have all rebuilt and
That's right.
they're back in business.
And also the United States is, is really the place we Thai people also invest now, start
They do,
investing.
definitely.
But smaller in degree, in absolute term, the U.S. is investing more in Thailand than we.
Well, we
investing
hope.
in.
We'd love to have more Thai investors, though. And I know some of the bigger companies, PTT is looking at some investments in petrochemicals in the United States, as well as smaller businesses. So I think, like anything else, there's always room to grow.
That's right.
And today's world makes it easier. You can do a lot of this via the internet. You can communicate with prospective buyers. You don't have to wait till you land there. So hopefully we'll have even more opportunities.
With the internet, we are now buying book from, through the internet from America a lot.
Exactly. So today's world makes it easier, I think, to trade, to do business across borders.
Ambassadors, the United States is a country where many people admire, and, your country as such is not too old in comparison to other countries like Europe or Thailand.
That's right, we're a new country.
Relatively new. But you have done so much, starting, from the early beginning.
Well, thank you.
And grow so fast. And you are now the biggest economy in the world, I would say. And in terms of security, militarily, and all that, you are number one.
Well,
What
thank you.
What are the factors that have made the U.S. great? Trade also, innovation also, it come like the computer industries, movies. People watch American movies a lot.
They do.
and digital, all kinds of things. You are an American. How do you attribute success like this
Tough question.
to to your country? What are the factors involved so other country can study
Well,
and see what they can do?
I think other countries, Thailand shares many of the same successes we've had. And in fact, I see some of the same factors. But I think it all starts with education. And I think in America, like in Thailand, we have a well-developed education system. And so people get the chance to learn, to explore their creativity. So I think that has helped tremendously. I think the creative industries have also been sparked by a partnership. If you look at some of the great inventions, they're universities partnering with local governments, with business. Look at the research triangle in North Carolina, for example, or California's Silicon Valley. It is a great hub of innovation. And I see some of that here in Thailand. You have a lot of incubator business cells, software parks, the kind of places where young entrepreneurs can try out their ideas. And I think that's a model that's worked very, very well in the United States and in Thailand.
So education. What about other things like people always talk about America as the opportunities?
Well, we are a country.
American dream.
American dream. Well, you look at our president. Raised by a single mother, went to school on scholarships, not from a wealthy family. And I do think there are a lot of examples of, and again, it's like Thailand, we value hard work. People who work hard, we have a lot of scholarships for education, a lot of opportunities like that. Again, you do many of those same things here. Internships for students, so they get the chance to get some experience, really prepare themselves well to work. And I think all of that makes a big difference.
And in Thailand here, one can say that Thailand has also grown a lot economically.
Tremendously.
And in the past 20, 30 years, has developed a lot.
Oh, I admire the infrastructure development here. Look at your airport, your roads. The infrastructure is impressive. The international airport's the envy of the region. It's really put the funds everywhere I travel in this country. The regional airports are good. The roads are good. There's electricity. There's running water. Increasingly, there are iPads and iPhones. Thailand has really invested. But you've invested in your country. And I think that's critical. I hope it's a lesson some of your neighbors will learn.
I think also Thailand is a very open country. In a way, from the very beginning, we are open to friendship with every country. If you look at our diplomacy, we are friends with everybody around the world, with every country.
I think Thailand's strategy of developing multiple networks of friends around the world has been a tremendous model. I think it's one many other countries should copy. This ability that in today's world, you can balance friendships, you need as many as possible, and that your doors are open. You're ready to trade. That doesn't mean you don't express your views. I've seen Thailand speak out very strongly against things that are wrong in the world, against countries that don't behave responsibly. But you keep your doors open to those who do, to trade opportunities. I think your diplomats are extremely good. It's a very capable diplomatic corps.
Ambassador, I think we are coming to the end of our first session. And I'd like to ask you to recap a little bit. What are the important things that you think we need to promote, between our bilateral relation here in Thailand? Of course, everything is, going well, fine. But what sort of emphasis that we should give? You mentioned something about education before, but what else?
Well, I think one of the things we're looking at is what we call our creative partnership. And this is moving toward the future. Linking up our entrepreneurs, Thai and American entrepreneurs. Linking up our universities, our creative talents. So it's not just trade and tourism, which are wonderful, and we'll keep working on those. But it's really pooling our creative talents. Movies that are then digitized in Thailand. American cotton that's designed by Thai designers. You can see a lot of creative partnership opportunities, and I think we're just getting started on that. So I think the next 10 years are going to be incredibly exciting ones.
Actually, we have a lot of cooperation, in the field of education. I think we also have Thai studies.
Exactly.
In many universities in
Many.
the United States. And at Chulalongkorn, we also have the American studies.
That's right.
And in other universities as well.
Well, and we have a lot of students. We have a lot of American students who study here, and we have thousands of Thai students who study in the United States. So whether they're studying Thai studies, the fact that Americans get to meet fellow Thai students and get to really talk with young Thai, I think is a fantastic opportunity.
So today we have a talk about Ambassador, her life, what she likes about Thailand, and what sort of work she has been doing in terms of bilateral relations. Perhaps we leave it to another sessions.
Fantastic.
To talk about our region, about the world,
Great.
our cooperation, internationally, to be some sort of mutual partner,
Right.
and for peace and security in the world.
Sounds terrific.
Ambassador, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been
for
an
allowing
honor.
us the opportunity to talk with you, and very illuminating, I would say.
Well, thank you.
And I think the Thai people would love, to see you. In particular, they admire ladies, beautiful ladies becoming having high position also.
Well, thank
Like
you.
you.
It's been an honor to
You-
be
you
here with
speak
you
highly.
today.
Just one moment, I noticed that you also have, just at the very end, you also like animal a lot, Charity.
I love animals.
You have
and
cats in
I
your-
do.
What do they do?
I actually only have one cat now.
Ah, okay.
And he's a stray cat that I adopted 14 years ago.
Junior.
Mao Junior.
Ah, okay.
And he lives in the house here with me.
So you see, the ambassador is very human and very capable,
Thank you.
very charming. She represents her country so well. After this session, we will have another session that we will talk some more about the USA, Thailand, and the wider world. Thank you.